My Ancestor's Journal. I found this journal among some things in my granddad's attic. As far as I can tell, it belonged to some old relative of ours, but I'm not sure what to make of it. Maybe one of you guys can give me some help here. Maybe this is some sort of fiction the guy wrote while bored. I can't imagine running a farm was that entertaining, but at the same time, I really don't know. Some of the books are legible, but here's what I can make out. June 12th. Another storm tonight. Real bad one too. Think lightning touched down a few times in the pasture. I'm gonna have to go out tomorrow to make sure nothing's damaged. Today was good though. Productive. I think Rose is going to have that calf soon. She's getting bigger by the day. Alva's talking about going to Sarah's grave again. I don't know if me or the boys will have time. She might have to walk there herself. And I wouldn't say it to her, but I miss Sarah too. Almost too much. It's better if I stay home. June 13th. Someone was out last night in the damn storm. Albert found him this morning. He let the cows out to graze and went out to check on the chickens before he heard a hubbubaloo coming from the pasture. He ran out there and found the poor fellow. It was obvious that he'd been out there all night. He was soaked to the bone, naked as the day he was born, and for a moment, I thought I had a dead man on my land. But when he started to murmur, I had Albert and Sven bring him inside while I finished up the chores. The man's still not awake. We dressed him and set him by the fire to warm him up. He's fevered, but Alva's a good girl and taking care of him. I'm surprised he's still alive after being out in the rain all night. Although I'm not holding my breath to see if he survives. The chills might take him before morning. June 15th. He finally woke up. He'd been out since we found him, mumbling deliriously and didn't have a clue where he was. But this morning, while Alva was sitting by him, he opened his eyes, sat up and asked for water. The man's got no memory of who he is or how he ended up in the pasture. I might end up making this month's trip to town earlier than planned, start asking around. Someone ought to be missing him. And well, he sticks out. Handsome man, strong jaw, hair so blonde it's almost white, and tall. He's got head and shoulders on me in height. He has this thin scar on his back, not a whipping scar. Looks like someone tried to skin him. It only recently healed too. In the meantime, I'll help him get healthy, see if he can handle farm work. June 24th. We've taken to calling our guest Stefan. He seems amused by the choice and likes it. So Stefan he is. Still no memory, but he's gotten strong enough to walk around and help keep the house neat. Alva already fancies him, practically lives to help him out and show him around. I can't say I dislike the man either. He's quiet, doesn't speak a harsh word. Since he's gotten so much better, I think I'll see about having him help me with the cows in the morning. June 26th. Cows don't like Stefan. I don't know why, but the minute Stefan set foot in the barn, they panic. Start making a ruckus and kick at anyone who gets near them. I had to make him leave. I didn't want to panic Rose into losing her calf. The 2 goats we got don't mind him though. The male always seemed to be an ornery thing, especially when we got near his wife, but Stefan can enter the pen without getting butted. So that's his job now. Takes one more thing off me and the boys' plates. June 27th. Alva had a nightmare last night that Rose lost her calf and gave birth to it dead. When Alva got close, the calf exploded into maggots that crawled onto Rose and ate her alive. Hell of a dream. She was pretty shaken up about it. Stefan took over her chores for the day. Good man. Gonna make the run into town Monday. I'll bring Stefan with me, see if anyone can place him. It'll be a darn shame when he goes though. The bruises on my backside are finally fading since I don't have that damn billy goat charging me every time I go in there. July 3rd. No one recognized Stefan. I'm disappointed, but also a little relieved. Means he can stay longer. We don't mind having an extra mouth to feed here, especially since he's willing to work. Sleeps in my room now, just so no tongues wag about him sleeping too close to Alva. I won't have anyone slandering my girl's name. Stefan don't mind the bedroll at least. He's asleep now, and his hair is still white as the day he appeared. It looks like a halo spread around his head now. His face sometimes twists in his sleep, as if he doesn't like what he's seeing. Maybe he's seeing pieces of who he used to be, but I still can't put together who he is. Poor man, I can't imagine not knowing who you are. July 4th. I had a dream last night. Rose gave birth to her calf, dead like Alva's dream, but instead of turned into maggots, Stefan walked up to it. His mouth was turned into a grin so disturbing it made me break into cold sweats. He knelt down by the calf and pulled it up by the head before biting its throat. Worms crawled from the wound and Stefan chewed on the spoiled flesh. His teeth turned sharp as knives. He got up and walked to me. I couldn't run away. I couldn't move a muscle. Stefan kissed me. His breath tasted like bitter rot. I could feel the worms from the meat squirming into my mouth and down my throat. I still couldn't move, and I began to choke on Stefan's tongue and worms. When I woke up, I found myself chewing on my blanket. Stefan had woken up and was getting dressed. Time for chores. He asked me if I was all right. I lied and said that I had just had a strange dream. My mouth still tastes like worms. June 6th. No more nightmares. None I can remember, at least, but I think I'm walking about in my sleep. When I awake in the morning, my feet are covered in mud and scratches on my legs like I've been walking through thorns. Feels like I've walked for miles, too. My thighs ache. Stefan's been a good help, though. At night, he's been massaging my back, trying to soothe the pain. Talks about his own dreams and what little he remembers. I don't listen to all of it. The man has good hands, but Stefan apparently had brothers once upon a time. Lots of them. He wasn't a farmhand, but he can't say what he used to do. Not sure if he can or if he won't. Sven and Stefan had an argument. I don't know what about, but Sven seems to get the idea he's sweet on Alva. I don't know where the hell that idea turned up, but Sven's like his mother, stubborn once his mind latches on to an idea. If Stefan wanted to marry Alva, though, I'd give that marriage my blessing, if that's what both of them wanted. He'd take good care of her. July 7th. The calf was born dead, all right. Rose died too. Something must have gone wrong. The calf had gotten stuck, and that's what caused the bleeding. Albert found their bodies. The calf still hanging out of Rose's body halfway as it lay in a pool of blood. The stench is so bad, I think it'll stick in the walls forever. Trying to salvage what we can by butchering the two of them and salting the meat to save. I'm starting to think Stefan used to be a butcher. He carves meat professionally. I might see if he ever wants to leave to get him started in town as that. I hate that I lost the cow, but it ain't Stefan's fault no matter what Sven thinks. I think Sven's been paying a little too much attention in church. Devils don't walk among men. The Son of the Lord made sure of that. They have no power over us. July 15th. I can't let my children know what happened this afternoon. They'd never look at me the same. Stefan and I were out repairing the fence when he asked if we could go for a walk, farther from the house, so we could be alone. The look in his eyes wasn't the kind of alone that I should have agreed to, but I did. Stefan and I sinned together under the apple tree. I loved Sarah, I did, but she never made me feel like Stefan did. It was bliss, like my wedding night all over again. I kissed his hands and praised his name, and I only feel guilty because of the risk of getting caught. It's our secret. Stefan will live here, just a man with no home and nowhere to go, and we'll keep making love like husband and wife, and no one has to know. July 21st. Sven and Stefan had another fight. At first I found it funny since Sven's still stuck on the idea that Stefan's wanting to marry Alva, but it turned into shouting and hot anger. Albert tried to get in between the two and trying to calm them down, but then Alva fainted, her skirt soaked in blood. I took her into a room and yelled for Sven to run to the doctor. I had to undress her, see if she was injured. That's when I saw it. A dead black kitten was curled between her thighs. As far as I can tell, she birthed it. I hid the cat's body by the time the doctor came, and he diagnosed it as one of those monthly things. I have to talk to Alva tomorrow when she's awake. July 22nd. Alva confessed to me witchcraft, but where she admits she learned it from chills me to the bone. Stefan gave her the tools to talk to the devil himself, to sell her soul to gain his power. I didn't believe her. Called her a liar, that she'll burn in hell for tarnishing a good man's name. She burst into tears and told me everything. Stefan told her she had a gift, a power that could be unlocked. She at first resisted the idea of calling on the devil, but he told her how much could be gained. I asked if he was a witch too. She told me he was not, but told me that he was no man either. I'm gonna have to talk to Stefan tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I will. July 24th. It's storming again. I still haven't talked to Stefan. I've let him sleep in my bed and kiss my body, but I can't ask him why he turned my daughter to witchcraft. I'm afraid of his answer. Alva's strength has returned, and more so. It's doubled. I've seen more cats. Black ones. I had to set down my journal. I thought it was hailing, but it's not. It's raining. Toads. Toads and blood. July 2nd. I asked what he was. What he was. My presence kill calves and turn God-loving girls into witches. He said, fallen from grace and that end until he's gone. Is going to kill. This page was stained with bloody water. I can barely read it. The next 5 entries are entirely illegible. August 7th. We buried Sven today. I've told the town there was an accident, that the cow had kicked him in the head, that he was killed instantly. I wish I could say it was instant. Stefan's missing. It's still raining toads at night. Alva's gone too. Left last night. Albert's still here. He's all I have left. God, have mercy on him, please. August 18th. Stefan came back last night. He says he wants to stay, but he knows I won't let him. We both know now his presence brings hatred and death, and although he might not have borne ill with the family who took him in, he could not stop his curse. I kissed him through the window before I told him if he didn't get off my property, I'd shoot him in the head. He laughed at that. We both know who'd win a fight. I'm so sorry, Sven. I should have listened to you. All my animals are dead, minus the damned billy goat. Sven is dead. My daughters ran into the forest to dance with the witches and marry the devil. All I have left in this world is Albert. And tomorrow we're packing up what little we have and getting out of here, so Stefan won't be able to find us. I don't know if I can turn Stefan away again. I'm not strong enough.